In this video today, I will be showing you a little bit about Gradebook, just some basic setup guidelines. We'll look at how to set up your grades, how to weight your terms, and how to add and change individual assignments. Before we begin, in the upper left-hand corner, simply make sure that you have selected the correct term that you want to be looking at. You can look at the separate quarters if you wish. We're going to look at semester 2 today, since we are at the beginning of our second semester. I'm going to look at this homework class, so I want to make sure that that is highlighted and selected. And then down here at the bottom, you have individual assignment categories. I've created a few to begin with, but I'm going to add another one. So I'll click on the plus sign, and then I will just fill this in. You may color code it if you wish. If you use percentage, make sure that you change this score type box. I know some of you grade on a point system, so you can leave that there. And then you may choose when you would like these individual assignments published to your students. Once you create an assignment, you will be able to see it on your gradebook screen, but you can choose when the student can see it from his or her vantage point. So you may specify that with this drop-down menu. Once everything looks good, you may click OK. And we have created that category. Now that our categories are set, we can go ahead and set up our grades as a whole. If you go to the top and click on the Grade Setup tab, you will see all of the different reporting terms within that semester. Now this screen is what you will see if you have a semester-long class. If you have a year-long class, it's going to look a little different. I'm going to go ahead and go to a year-long class so you can see the difference. This is the year-long class. Looks a little overwhelming. There are a few more reporting terms there. The basic principles still apply in the year-long class as it does in a semester-long class. So we're going to look at the semester-long class today, and if you have a year-long class and you need some pointers in how to weight those grades and set up those grades for the year-long classes, just let me know and I'll help you individually. So under this semester 2, I'm going to go ahead and click that arrow. Now this is going to be the same for every class, for every teacher. So we'll go ahead and do this together. Click on that arrow, and this is where you want to weight your term. So click on that second bubble, Term Weights, and you will see all of the terms that are listed underneath Semester 2. For Q3 is going to be 43.75% of the entire grade for the given semester. So we want to weight those, Q3 and Q4, and then E2 is going to be 12.5%. E2, or E1 if we're looking at first semester, that's where you are going to put your EOC score or your final exam if you do not have an EOC class. So that final exam or EOC score will be 12.5% of the entire semester grade. So make sure that those are weighted properly and then click Save at the bottom. And then you can go on to the next term. We'll go to Q3, click on that arrow, and this is where we are going to click Category Weights. We're going to go ahead and add categories that we created here in the left-hand column. So I'm going to click the plus sign, and I'll just add a couple of different categories. Click OK. I'm going to weight those however I need to. Just make sure that your weight and your percentages are the same. I know sometimes we accidentally click in the wrong number, so just make sure that those add up the same. And we'll click Save. We'll do the exact same thing in Q4. We'll go to Category Weights. I'm going to add my categories. Then change those weights. And click Save. Finally, for E2, we're going to do the exact same thing. We'll go to Category Weights, add a category, and at this time, I'm going to click either my EOC category or the exam category, depending on my class. So I'll click on EOC. And this is not necessary. You do not have to create an EOC and final exam category. That is definitely optional. It's just whatever you choose to do. I'll click OK. And I want this to be 100%. Since this EOC category is the only category under the E2 term, it is, of course, going to receive 100% of that grade. And then I will click Save. At this point, you can go back and look under each term just to make sure everything's saved correctly. Looks like it did, so we are good to go. Now I'm going to make a note here. I really encourage you to set this up at the very beginning of every school year. It seems like we are having some problems. Some teachers are having some problems. We will set up our grades in one class and assume that they have been set up for every class. But you need to go to every class and make sure that they are set up the exact same way for every single class. So if you go ahead and set those up, weight your terms, weight those grades at the very beginning of each year. Do that for every class in both semester 1 and semester 2, and then you won't have to worry about it anymore. You will be assured that all of your grades have been calculated correctly from the beginning, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Looks like we are good to go with each of these terms, so I'm going to go ahead and begin adding assignments. You can click up here on the Assignments tab, or you can go to the Score Sheet tab. We're just going to click the plus sign. And just fill this in however you need to. And then I usually leave everything else the same. I'll insert a name, I'll change the category, and if I need to change the due date, I can do that. I can go to a previous date or a date in the future, however I choose to do that. And then I'm going to click Save, and then there is my assignment. One thing I want to point out about the date is to just be careful about that. Sometimes we are posting an assignment in the wrong reporting term by accident. This tends to happen at the end of a reporting term or at the beginning of a new reporting term. We will go to insert an assignment, let's say for first 9 weeks, but Gradebook has already switched over to the second 9-week period. So if you don't change this due date, that assignment is automatically going to show up in the second 9-week period rather than the first 9-week period. So if you are creating an assignment and it disappears, it doesn't show up here in this reporting term where you would like it to show up, chances are that the due date is just incorrect. So just be careful about that. Make sure that that due date corresponds to the open window within that given reporting term. When I'm finished with this assignment, I'm going to go ahead and X out of that window. And then we have our assignments. One final thing that I want to point out is at the end of each reporting term. Now, this is not at interim or at progress report time, but just at the end of each 9-week period. I want to click on this box that says S2 in progress, or if I go to this drop-down menu, I can go to each individual quarter as well. I'm going to click on this where it says in progress, and I want to check this box that says final grades complete, and then click OK. And that changes to Q3 grades complete. This is how we finalize our grades. So this is just a good way to know that our grades have been finalized, and the office can then go ahead and make those reports as they need to. This is all that we will be looking at today. I hope this video was helpful in teaching you how to set up your grades, how to weight your grades, and how to set up and change an assignment. If you would like to know some more information about Gradebook, different tips and tricks and shortcuts as far as assignments go, how to run reports, please let me know and I'll be sure to give you some more information on that.